Yeah. And we're live here with yours truly back with the HBCU Stroll. Not only HBCU Stroll, you here with the coach, Johnny Cole, coming to you live. Today I got a very good guest. Uh, we go way back. This guy is a hard worker. He's been grinding all his life, as they would say, and he's done a super job. Now he's currently the head football coach of the champion Benedict College in the SIAC out in South Carolina. We met back at the Chicago Bears training camp. We were roommates in the dormitory, and we'll kind of get into all that. We'll get into his background. He's a championship guy. He wins wherever he goes. He's a great friend of mine. The head coach of Benedict College, the 10-0 Benedict College, Mr. Chennis. Head coach, Chennis. What's going on, Coach?
Coach Cole, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I first look, I just got off the phone with Obama, and I was like, well, damn, I can't ever catch up with Chennis. But Coach, look, you went there in 2020, got the job in 2020 of February, and in 2 years, not only do you win the championship, you go 10-0, Coach. You go 10-0, man, and that's a contribute to you and your coaching staff. But I just want to start off. We're gonna get deep into that, Coach. We're gonna get deep into why you ain't one of those Power 5 coaches ain't called you or schools ain't called you. We're getting into all that, Coach.
Okay.
Because I know me and you used to, and I never told you, I used to keep you up in the room when we worked together at Chicago Bears because I had to get to sleep before you because you snored, and I know you probably were trying to get to sleep because I was snoring. So we're gonna get in that. How you been, Coach?
Oh, blessed, man. Blessed, man. I tell you what, man. First of all, I'm super excited to be on your show today, man. To God be the glory, man. The year that we had, man, it's special. Doesn't happen every day, man, and I'm grateful and blessed to be the head football coach at Benedict College. But again, I'm super excited to be on HBCU Stroll today, man, to get a chance to talk to an old friend of mine. Go back to 2002 at the Chicago Bears training camp, man, and looking forward to this show.
It's just so funny, man, and it's awkward about life and about God that now 21 years later, you know, you're a head football coach. You know, I'm into the media deal and get an opportunity to interview you and tell the world about you. I mean, we on BS3 TV. It's produced by JM&E, backing. We got great following. AJ Jones is our producer, and you know, that's God's work, man. And for you to get in there and be successful. And I was gonna get to you anyway because I love your style of coaching.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So hey, we at Benedict College, and you started off at Savannah State as a player. How did you get to Savannah State?
Man, listen, man, that's being at the right time, place, right time, man. And that's again, I'm a man of favor, man. I believe in that, man. And you'll hear me probably refer to the good Lord throughout this whole deal because I've been blessed, man. And how I got to Savannah State was just by the grace of God, man. I was my senior year in high school, man. I played at Redan High School in Stone Mountain, Georgia. And my senior year on the football field, man, we were 1-9, man. We couldn't win the coin toss, man. We were junkyard dogs, man. We couldn't do anything, man. But I was also a basketball player too. So I ended up playing in a basketball tournament around Christmas time down in Savannah, Georgia. And you know, Savannah's about 4 hours from Atlanta. We took our team down there and we won the championship. And I actually was MVP of this tournament. And so happened at this tournament, Coach Bill Davis, who was the head football coach at the time at Savannah State, he was actually there just watching his daughter playing the women's part of the Christmas tournament and saw me play basketball. And he kind of came to me after the game. He said, listen, son, do you play football as well? And I said, yes, sir. I play tight end and defense end at Redan High School. He said, well, look, man, I'm going to offer you a full scholarship to come to Savannah State College. And I tell you what, I took it, man, because that was my only offer, man. They gave me an opportunity. And, you know, I'm a firm believer in that. And just like even every opportunity that I've been given in life, man, if somebody give me a chance, Somebody give me an opportunity. I feel attitude of gratitude, man. When somebody give me an opportunity, I want to make the best of the opportunity. And I took that chance and ended up being a 4-year starter at Savannah State. End up transitioning to offensive line. Had a great career there from 91 through 94. And that propelled and started me in my coaching career in 1995. And 28 years later, I'm still coaching college football, man. To God be the glory again.
Well, that's the thing that why one of the reasons why I got into talking about HBCUs. That's what HBCUs are for. For guys like that to give you a platform. That's why it's so important that we support each other. And one of my things about my show is I'm big on hiring your own. You know what I'm saying? We now as ex-players, I played at Texas Southern. Now we not only have to get some experience, we got to get some experience on the PWI, or we got to start off at an NAIA school and maybe something happen. How you feel about the importance of the HBCU college?
Listen, man, I'll tell you what, a product for since 1991. So that's what, last 22 years of actually, long time. Since 1991, I've been on the HBCU campus as a player and a coach. And I think the thing about HBCUs, man, it nourishes you, it grows you, it teaches you life lessons, man. And we don't always have the silver spoon, but we had to do more with less. At the end of the day, results still have to be made. We're going to get quality educations, man, and we're going to have an opportunity to give back to the community, man. So I'm grateful for the time that I've been able to spend on HBCU campus. And like I say, since 1991, I've been on the HBCU campus, and I'm super, super grateful. So to be a part of the HBCU culture. And when people talk about HBCU, I am HBCU. So like I say, since 1991, I've been on the campus. And to God be the glory, man. It's been a great ride, man. And I'm a HBCU guy, and that's what the good Lord had me to be. We all have aspirations to move on to these different levels, but I think this is my calling. I think this is what the good Lord had me to be able to give back to my own people.
Yeah. Well, saying your calling, it's so hard and I definitely don't want to get away from your greatness. Of course, Deion Sanders came in the HBCU it's a storm, and he done some great things, and of course there's always the good part and there's the bad part. What is your perspective on the Deion Sanders saga of coming through and of course I'm one of his biggest cheerleaders now, because I want to see him do well at Colorado, because he's an African American black coach, one of the few. And he actually took some guys from HBCU with him, which I applaud that as well. So, hey, from the time he came in to now his exit, let's just talk about the good first.
Well, first of all, I'm a Deion Sanders guy, man. That's been prime time, been my man for a long time, man. I was coming through Atlanta, man. I've been an Atlanta Falcons fan for years. So he set Atlanta on fire back in those days, man. But I tell you what, man, I'm grateful for the time that Deion had it on the HBCU, man, campus, man, because ultimately at the end of the day, man, obviously prime time been prime time before Jackson State. Okay. Oh, wow. He's been what he is for a long time. And I'm grateful for the public exposure that he was able to bring in a national audience to HBCU. HBCU has been great for a long time. There's been great coaches that have come through HBCU for years and years and years. And again, we know some of the legendary names that we've all heard throughout our whole entire lives, man. But with Deion coming in, man, no question about it. What he was able to do at Jackson State is monumental, man. He did some great things. And again, Jackson State is a proud program. They've been winning for a long time. But just to see the national exposure he was able to bring, because it's prime, man. Right. Prime is prime, man. Again, people say, well, this and that and that and this, man. But at the end of the day, it's prime, man. And prime didn't change who he was, man. But he was able to be a positive man. He's a black man and African-American man that did great things at a place, and HBCU gave him an opportunity. Now it's up to you what you do with that opportunity. There's lifetime and life that people give you opportunities, what you do with it. And he was able to get an undergraduate degree from an HBCU, was able to get an opportunity to be a head football coach at an HBCU, and that propelled him to a national level where now he is a head coach at a Power Five program. So again, man, I'm grateful for the time that he shared at Jackson State. He did some great things, man, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does at Colorado.
Well, Coach Barry, that's one reason why I kind of stayed at you, because I know you were busy during the season on letting folks know, because look at your record. I mean, you actually done the same thing. He didn't really win it until the second year. And it's the same thing with you. You came in even in a worse program than Jackson State, as you know, and been around the SWAC. Jackson State has always been a perennial winner, a winning program. They have those up and down years when they're doing bad, but most of the time, they either gonna win it or they're gonna finish second or third. So and that's why it's important that people get to meet you. And you dress well, you speak well, you've been to pro clinics, you've been all over coaching, you've been to the training, the coaching training, and you could go in and take over any program in the country. It ain't got to be black, white, but it's almost, Chennis, and I know how I felt, and I'm gonna ask you how you feel. It's like it's a glass ceiling over your head for a black college coach.
I mean, no question about it, man. Like you say, man, what we were able to accomplish here at Benedict College, man, and I'm a firm believer, man. It was a rough place. I left Southern University and I spent 7 years in the SWAC. So we went against Jackson State every year. And Jackson State was down at the time. I think we had a pretty successful record versus Jackson State at the time I was at Southern University, man. But when you come and take over programs like a Benedict College, prior to my arrival here at Benedict College, man, we were 1-9. Okay, so regardless of where you are, whether you're at Benedict College or University of South Carolina or Clemson, you have to have support from the administration. There's it doesn't matter. We all figure, we're pretty good ball coaches, man. We know X's and O's. We know how to be able to do more with less. But at the end of the day, you have to have support from the administration. So I had a vision when I first came here. I saw, things that other people didn't see. But I'm grateful for the support that I was able to receive from our president. Starts from the top. And she was able to pour into our program and believe in our program. And she gave me an opportunity. And my job is anytime you get anything, make that job better than it was before you received it. And I know for a fact the time that I got here to where we are now, we've definitely made it better. So regardless of what, man, when you come from an HBC, you can go coach anywhere. Man, you can go coach anywhere if you get support from the administration, because we're used to doing more with less. I took my staff, I got a young staff, man, and I've had a young staff, and I'm grateful for my young staff. But I believe in staff development. So I took my staff during spring break to visit Florida State and FAMU. So Willie Simmons is a good friend of mine, and we talk offensive ball all the time. So I took my staff, because we're very similar offensively, to kind of visit that staff and watch them practice, and visit Florida State staff and watch them practice. And when we got back, I always like to get a report, a PowerPoint on what did they think. So I went around the room with the coaches, and the biggest thing they said, Coach, you know what? I love what we're doing here. We're on the right path. The biggest difference between us and them, they have more resources. They have more personnel. I mean, we're spotting the ball. We're getting changed. We're rocking and rolling. We got the clock rolling. We're trying to stay on time and be organized. And again, although we're a Division II program, we try to run our program like a Division I program, but we just don't have the resources or the personnel. And I tell our guys all the time, listen, man, if you can coach here, and you can coach at these HBCUs, because we're used to doing more with less. We're limited resource institutions that have to find a way at the end of the day to have those same results. If you can coach here, you can coach anywhere. So for them to be able to see that, Coach Cole, man, that was a great thing, man. And they really felt like they got better by going on that trip to Florida State and FAMU.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I can feel your passion, and I can see why you won, because some of your philosophies and your ideals are the same ones that I have. I think winning is the ingredient, and everybody don't have it. 75% of the coaches, new coaches come in, they are losers. Not losers as people, but they not ready to take that seat because they don't have an ideal of it. Where did you learn your philosophy? I know it's on your journey towards being a coach, but is it maybe for some specific people you coach up underneath? Or is it some things that you've seen? Where'd you get your philosophy from?
Man, you know what, man? Listen, man. First of all, I've worked for some great men. I played for a great head coach in the legendary Bill Davis, man, who taught me so many life lessons. To me, it's bigger than football. See, one thing about this game of football, there's only thing that's guaranteed, it's going to end one day. It's going to end one day. So those tools that we try to put in our young men's toolbox going to carry on to the game of life, because one day they're going to be fathers, they're going to be husbands, they're going to be leaders in the community. So it's important. I always tell our coaches, man, listen, man, every day is a ministry, man. We're in a ministry more than we are football coaches, because we're pointing to the lives of young people. We're pointing to the lives of young people that may not have had a father in their life or a positive role model. And usually their coach is usually that person. And, for me, man, the people that I've played for and worked with over the years, man, more than anything, man, there's one thing that I know that I have full control of, is that's my work ethic. You may be more talented than me. You may be smarter than me. You may be more handsome than me, but you're not going to outwork me. At the end of the day, I got full control of my work. All right, to get something you never had, you got to be willing to do something you never done. And for me, you may be better than me, but you're not going to outwork me. See, I got full control of that. I'm in here first thing this morning, 5:30 in the morning, before the boys even got to the weight room. I'm in here trying to get 1% better, because at the end of the day, I don't know what the next team is doing. We open up against Shaw University this year. I have no idea what their staff is doing, but I got full control of what I do every day. So more than anything, man, I'm a man of discipline, integrity. I put God first in all we do. I'm very dedicated. I give amazing effort. We're going to execute the plan, whether it's on the field or off the field. And I got pride. First of all, pride in my last name is Barry. I was named after my daddy. So I'm going to have pride in being a Barry first. Then I'm going to have Tiger pride, because this place gave me an opportunity when nobody else did. You got to think about it, Johnny. I mean, I was coaching for 26 years as an assistant coach before I got an opportunity to be a head football coach. And when I was blessed with the opportunity to be the head football coach here at Benedict College, I owe it to them to give them my best every day. The standard here at Benedict College is your best. Every day you come to work, you got to be able to give your best. Why? Because these young men, 18 through 22, 23, 24 years old, are dependent on me. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Right. Man, was speaking of your dad and your parents, were they athletes? Were your dad an athlete?
No, man, he be talking that mess like God rest his soul, man. My daddy passed away a couple of years ago, man, April 18th. When I first got the job here. And then, it's just, as I think about him now, man, he used to always tell me when I was assistant coach for so long, man, when you going to be a head coach? And I used to always be like, Pops, man, when the good Lord says it's my time, all right, I'm going to stay ready so I don't have to get ready. But when the good Lord says it's my time, man, and my daddy was in hospice my last couple of years at Southern University. And, when you go to hospice, man, they pretty much say those days are numbered. But, man, the good Lord say, hold on. So he ended up staying in hospice 2 more years. And, I was hired here February 11th of 2020, and he was still alive, and he ended up passing April the 18th of 2020, man. So he ended up seeing me become a head football coach, but I think he was just waiting, man, because he really, really believed in me. And my mom, she wasn't an athlete, man. She just was a woman of God and woman of faith, and always kept us in church and made sure that we did the right thing, man.
Yeah. Well, one of the good things, I follow you now, Coach. I gotta say about your beautiful wife and your great children and how you not only just talking. I see it, Coach. I see it. I follow you. I see you and your wife. Y'all get into your strength and conditioning deals and the kids, man. I gotta give her at least 2 minutes of your time. She's look like she's a great partner of yours, because this business is tough.
Right.
On families.
Man, listen, man. Coach Cole, let me tell you something, man. When they say happy wife, happy life, boy, I'm trying to tell you, well, if you find he who found a wife found a good thing and receive favor in the Lord, man, let me tell you something, man. There's nothing like, I try to encourage our young coaches, man. I say, man, if you're going to get in this profession, make sure you got the right significant other. Because the reality is, Coach Cole, man, we put more time with other people's families than we do with our own. Because of the grind that it takes to be great at what we do. But I tell our guys all the time, if I can put 3 cups on my table, they always ask me the question, well, Coach, how do you have balance? Well, it's tough. So I tell them, well, you can't put 3 cups on the table. You got your coaching life, you got your family life, and then you got your spiritual life. Well, when I'm at work, I pour everything in that cup when I'm at work. When I'm at home, I pour everything in that cup when I'm at home. And when I go to church, I pour everything I do in that cup, man, because the reality is we put a lot of time into it, man. And
Right.
you have to have the right significant other, because the reality of this whole deal is I'm going to be with my players and my coaches probably more than I'm going to be at home. And I have a supportive wife. We actually went to high school together years ago, man. And, supportive wife, she's awesome, man. And I'm just grateful to have her, man. She's a registered nurse herself, so she has her own personal deal that she does, and she's very successful in it. Been doing it for over 20 years. So, I'm just grateful to have the support system that I have in my wonderful wife.
Because the family really have to buy into the sport. Does she travel with you guys sometimes if she get time off, or?
Well, she'll come to every game, regardless of where it is. But she might not be able to leave when we leave. But when that ball kick off, I'm gonna look up in the stands. She's gonna be out there rocking and rolling.
I got you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Coach, man, you leave Savannah State, man, and you get your first job under what, Crosby, right?
Joe Crosby, that's right.
Joe Crosby, good man, soft spoken. I can remember those days. I was just a young coach. But you only stayed with him for a little bit, and you got into the offensive line play. Is it a certain, because you were a great offensive lineman too. You made All-American and all that. Is it a player that you marked yourself behind?
Man, you know what? Honestly, not, man. I really didn't really pattern my game behind anybody, man. I was just a student of the game, man. I don't care. Back then we didn't have YouTube and all that type stuff to be able to pull film up for anybody, man. Matter of fact, we didn't even have internet back then when I came through, man. That was out there. I was in college for a little while, man, but I just wanted to be great, man. When I transitioned from tight end to offensive line, I was 250 as a tight end, and I ended up going into a 300-pound left tackle. But I wanted to keep my same athleticism and my same, things like that. And I really never patterned myself after anybody specifically as a football player. I just wanted to work hard, man. And whatever my coaches told me to do, I was like a sponge, man. And whatever they told me to do, I just trusted in them and found a way to get it done. So, there's no specific player per se.
And you've had a great running back and a great offensive running team wherever you've been. You go from there, now you're at Fort Valley State. What made you bounce there? And of course, you have one of the best tailbacks in the country.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you got to be able to run the football. I always tell people all the time, if you want to win football games, you better be able to run the football, and you better be able to stop the run. If you want to do that, you better have a chance, all right? And I always believed in, man, and I built my program here just like they do in the NFL. We're going to recruit really, really well at offensive line. We're going to recruit really, really well at defensive line. We're going to have a really, really good quarterback, and we're going to be good at corner. And those are the positions I put my money in. So, when I left Savannah State in 95, I went to Morris Brown College for one season, and we had a really, really good running back at Morris Brown College. We actually, we were all freshmen that year because we were just kind of coming around. And then we went to, after I left Morris Brown, I actually went to Kentucky State University for 4 seasons, man. And I was there where I was able to get my master's degree in public administration, man. And we had some really good backs there. We had a guy by the name of Alvon Brown. In fact, I think he still holds all the rushing records in the history of Kentucky State, man. We had one game, I think we rushed for 400. He rushed for 405 yards. So I think we had like 500-something yards rushing.
Man, y'all must have played against Lane College or somebody.
We must have, man. But I tell you what, he should tote that tater, man. And he had a great career. Then when I left Kentucky State, that's when I went to Fort Valley State. I was there with Kent Schoolfield, and we had 2 dynamic running backs, Orlando Wiley and Deron Croson. Both of those guys were 1,800-yard backs, man. So
Coach Schoolfield, man, Coach, he could throw it too. Schoolfield could bounce it around. So if y'all were running the ball well, y'all definitely was throwing as good as well.
Absolutely. Schoolfield, I'm telling you what, man, a lot of people impacted my career, but he really showed me what it's supposed to be about. That guy right there, man, you're talking about, first of all, he was one of the first black coaches that coaching, and back then it wasn't Power 5. It was just Division I football. He coached at Florida State with Bobby Bowden back in the 70s, man.
Yeah.
And he really taught me, and he's an HBCU guy. He played at FAMU for Jake Gaither back in the day, man. That guy taught me work ethic, football. I probably learned the most football in my life the 2 years I was with Coach Schoolfield at Fort Valley State.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Then you move on from Fort Valley, and then now it's time to move into the big boy. Leave out of the NAIA Division II. Now you go to 1AA. Was that Morgan State first?
I actually went to A&T first.
A&T, yeah. A&T, and then Morgan State, then on the Southern. How did you get to A&T? Was you under Bill Hayes or
no, I actually was under George Small. So
George Small.
In 2003, I became the offensive line coach at North Carolina A&T, and George Small actually was the head coach when I was at Kentucky State. When I left there, I went to Fort Valley, and then he ended up getting hired. He was an alum of A&T. So I was there from 03 to 05, and we won the MEAC. Our very first year, we went 10-2, had a great year in 03, and then 04 and 05 had decent years. And then in 06, I went to Morgan State University with Donald Hill Eagley.
Donald Hill Eagley.
That's right. And it's kind of ironic how that happened, man, because I actually got hired. I didn't know Coach Hill.
Oh,
in 2005, we played. I was at A&T, and I had took over as mid-season as offensive coordinator. That was my very first time being a play caller. And we played Morgan State at FedEx Field versus his team, and we beat them maybe like 42-38, and our running back had like 280 yards rush. And when the season was over, they dismissed Coach Small as the head coach in 05. And like the next day, my phone rang from Coach Hill. It was like, look, man, I don't know you, but I tell you what, I watch your offenses, and I'm offering you the offensive coordinator O-line job at Morgan State University. That's how I end up getting there. From 2006 to 2008, I had a great career with Coach Hill. That's my main man, 50 grand. Great man, HBCU guy himself. And after I left there, I went back to A&T in 2009 and 10. I was the offensive coordinator there and the offensive line coach. And then I went to Howard University in 2011 and 12. So I was there with Gary Harrell, who's now with Deion Sanders' staff as the running back coach. That's my main man. They had a good career there for the 2 years. We really got that program rocking and rolling in 11 and 12. And then in 2013, that's when I went to Southern University with Coach Dawson Odoms, who he and I worked together as coordinators at A&T in 2009 and 10. So full circle moments, man, through it all, man. But it's been a fun ride, man.
But you didn't leave Southern and go to Norfolk. You stayed. That surprised me because I knew you and Coach was real tight. I thought you would go back out east. Out east and a little bit closer to home. But you end up staying.
Well, actually, I was there 2013 to 2019. So we had lost in the SWAC championship to Alcorn. Coach Odoms was still there.
Yeah.
I left to come to Benedict in February 2020. Coach Odoms didn't leave till the following year.
Okay.
That's when he went to North. But I was already head coach here at Benedict by then. But he didn't leave the following year. After that spring season they had, he left after that.
Well, I got to ask you the $20,000 question. You've coached in the MEAC. You've coached in the SWAC. What's the difference of the conferences? Because right now the MEAC is wearing the SWAC out in the Celebration Bowl.
You know, people ask me that all the time, Coach Cole. That's crazy that you say that. And the reality is, man, the biggest difference is the fan bases, man. Listen, I mean, we can get to the ball part in a minute, but when I coached in the SWAC, man, we're Bayou Classic, man. We're playing in front of 75,000 people.
Yeah.
We played Jackson State, the Boombox Classic, man. That thing was like 55, 60,000 people, man.
Right.
And we didn't play in front of those kind of crowds in the MEAC. Not at all. Matter of fact, I was at A&T, Howard, and Morgan, and man, we might have got maybe 15,000 on a good classic, and that's Aggie Eagle Classic, which is a big rivalry. You might have given 20,000 or so, but when you're talking about when I went to SWAC, that was unheard of. But in terms of the style of football, you're gonna really run the football in the MEAC, man. You're gonna run the football, and you're gonna be very, very physical game in the MEAC.
Right.
We win the swag. It was put the ball in space to your playmakers, because there's some really talented, explosive players in the swag out on the perimeter, no question about it. And the quarterback play, the dual threat quarterbacks were special as well in the swag. So I think there's some comparisons ultimately at the end of the day, but until the swag beats them in the Celebration Bowl, I guess the MEAC, I think they won one time. I guess the MEAC still reign king right now.
Yeah. And I've asked that, and I've seen that. It's like more the SWAC is finesse, and the MEAC is more of power.
Mm-hmm.
Have you and you've coached a bunch of All-Americans.
Mm-hmm.
You've coached a bunch of All-Conference. Have any of you guys made it to the next level?
Oh, absolutely. I've had quite a few, man, and got a chance to play on Sundays, and I got one that's playing right now, Jatari Carter. He played for me at Southern University, and when we first recruited Jatari, man, Jatari was a tight end DN, and he never played offensive line before. But I told him when we took him, because we signed him late, I said, listen, man, we're going to take you at Southern, but listen, we're going to take you as an offensive lineman. You're going to have to buy into being an O-line. And he was like 250 at the time, and he bought into it, and he ended up being the starting left tackle for us for 3 years that I was there. I ended up not coaching him his senior year. I was already gone by then. And matter of fact, he really could have came back for another year, but he was a special talent, and he's doing well with the Chicago Bears right now. He got drafted in the 7th round last year. But I've got a couple guys that I coached when I was at Morgan State and when I was at A&T, big offensive tackles. I got a chance to play on the next level. So grateful for that, man.
Right. Well, we at Benedict College. I've coached at Lane College, so I had the opportunity to go and play against Benedict, and super stadium. They left out one thing up, and they probably don't change it. It wasn't no water on the sideline. So maybe they don't change it since then.
Yeah.
Man, what was your key, Coach? You came in, you looked around. I know you was hungry. You was hungry to be a head coach because it was just your right. It was time.
Mm-hmm.
What was some of the things that when you walked in and say, I got to change this right now?
Well, the biggest thing, man, I had to get the administration on board. And I was talking about not just people just think about, your president and the VPs and all that. No, I had to get from the president's office to the physical plant, because each of us needs all of us. So I've built great relationships on this whole entire campus. Again, that's part of being on HBCU campus, man. It's not just about the president. You better make sure you got financial aid, admissions, housing, physical plant, cafeteria needs to be on the same page, same sentence, same line, same letter, same word. Again, that's the only way it's going to work. It takes a village to raise a child. So I had to get buy-in from the campus community first. All right, and then I had to recruit the team that I had. My very first team meeting, man, it was 56 guys in the team meeting. And I'm like, whoa. And then I had them guys say, show of hands for how many guys got 3.0. And it was like 5 guys raised their hand. Well, I had to change the mindset first. Do you believe that you're a smart student first? Because if you can win in the classroom, you have a chance to win on the field, because you're gonna have to learn. Third down coming, so we want to ask you to do a scheme. You got to be able to comprehend and be able to get it done. So it was be able to get those guys bought in, and we really changed the mindset in terms of in the classroom. And then we had to change the facilities, man. To be honest, man, like you say, our stadiums top 10 in all Division II. Not even a close second. I mean, it's amazing. We're the only HBCU in the country that hosts all levels of state championship games. So regardless from single A all the way to 5A, plays their state championship games here, not at Clemson, not at University of South Carolina. They play them here at Benedict. So we have a great facility, but the locker room was bad when I first got here. The coach's office was bad when I first got here. We didn't have a weight room when I first got here. So I had to get the administration to buy in, to understand, in order for us to recruit. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to recruiting the Jimmys and Joes. Our job is we're going to recruit them, then we got to retain them, then we have to develop them, then we got to graduate them.
Right.
That is the process of this program. So in order for me to recruit them, I had to get something to sell. And this generation of social media, man, these guys want to take 1 million visits and see all kind of the bells and whistles. So I had to get the administration to understand the importance of changing the look. things look important. What if you look good, you feel good, you play good, and if you play good, like Deion say, they pay good. So ultimately, at the end of the day, we had to fix that. And then once we did that, man, I think now between our team meeting room, we had to gut some things out. State-of-the-art weight room, team meeting room, coach's office, locker room. I mean, I would put our facilities up against anywhere in the country on the Division II level, man, in the HBCU level in general. So that was important, man, because we're going to recruit them. We're going to go out. I have a gas tank philosophy, man, meaning I'm right here in Columbia, South Carolina, which is the capital of South Carolina. I have a gas tank philosophy, meaning that whenever my truck, or not necessarily my truck, because we rent cars, can hit within a 5-hour radius, we're going to go recruit it. We're going to knock on the door of every high school in the state of South Carolina, first and foremost. It's up to them whether they say they're coming or not. But we're close enough where we can get to Charlotte in an hour. We can get to Atlanta in 3 hours. We can get a lot of places with some good ball. We can get to Florida, Jacksonville, Florida in 4 hours. So we're in a fertile recruiting land. And at the end of the day, there's X's and O's, but you better have you some Jimmys and Joes, man. And we've done a good job of going out and recruiting.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, I fell in love with your style. I was watching you guys play one night, and the kid, I think it was one of your linemen, had a personal foul. Mm-hmm. You didn't just take him out of the game, Coach. Mm-hmm. You sent him to the locker room.
Amen.
I said, Coach Barry, he coaching out there.
Amen.
He coaching.
Amen.
Coach, I got that same philosophy, Coach.
That's right.
But man,
that's important. That's important.
You got it, Coach. You got the floor, baby.
Listen, man, Coach Cole, let me tell you something, man. I'm a firm believer in this. If you get a personal foul, I don't mean like a PI or something like that in the middle of the play. But if you do something to bring attention to yourself, late hit, talking, taunting over to the sideline, doing something because it's about you, then let it be about you, and you go spend the rest of the game in the locker room by yourself. Because what you won't do in this program is embarrass this program. They know in this program, my mind's already made up. You get a 15-yard penalty, I don't even have to say nothing. I just point to the locker room, and they know that. That's whether it's a player or a coach, because the coaches know too. I'm the only one to talk to the officials. So if they get a personal foul because they run their mouth on the sideline, guess what? Who else going to the locker room? The coaches. So again, it's about discipline and accountability, and that's what I'm all about, man. And if you know what, man, what I've learned, man, these kids want to be disciplined. They want structure. They want organization. They want to be held accountable. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they know for every action in life, there is a reaction. Right. So you better make the right decisions.
Right. So it's just so funny that you say that, because even now, and I'm gonna say this, Coach, you got some good people behind you. Some folks nowadays, and you know this, they take offense to how you are. They take offense to that style. Mm-hmm. And I believe just like you believe. Yeah, it's a new time, but kids like discipline. Mm-hmm. Because they like the attention. They like that you care about me. And my philosophy is I don't necessarily care about the helmet. I care about who's wearing the helmet. Mm-hmm. And I think, it's pretty much saying and doing the same thing. And so, once you start getting things together, I know you had to get rid of some people that you thought that can help. But I guess your philosophy is I'm putting people over the process. I'm trying to teach these kids how to be disciplined and how to do things the right way. Winning's gonna come, mm-hmm. And it seems like you don't put winning before that.
Mm-hmm. And this one, we have to, along the way, man, we had to get rid of some folks, and that's players and coaches. I mean, to just be honest, man, my job is to give you the opportunity. All right, it's your job to what you do with the opportunity. My job isn't for you to keep you got to keep your job by your work ethic every day and making sure that, again, I don't want, even when you talk about coaches, I don't want like-minded coaches. They used to say the term like-minded. No, I want coaches with shared values. Yeah. And this is what I mean when I say that. I don't want you to think like me. You don't have to think like me, because I need different thoughts and different ideas on how we can all put this puzzle together, because that's what it is, a puzzle. But we got to have shared values. We got to be men of God. We got to be guys with discipline and character, because ultimately, at the end of the day, if somebody go out and get a DUI or rob the neighborhood pizza man, it's not going to say John Doe robbed the neighborhood piece of man. John Doe gets a DUI. It's going to say Benedict College football player or Benedict College coach does this. So we have to make sure that we have the right values, man. And when you're talking about that, you got, players buy-in, in this program, man, they know I got zero tolerance. If your name come across my desk of things of negativity, no, I'm not just going to throw you to the wolves, but at the end of the day, for every action, there's a reaction. All right. And in our program, man, we chase A's, B's, C's, and D's. Okay. That's what the policy is. A's and B's are in the classroom. Those are non-negotiable. C's are championships. And I said championships with an S. All right. And degrees. That's what we're all about. Because I have a firm belief, if I pay for your class, i.e. in the academic in the classroom, this past year, not only did we go 10-0 in the regular season, we beat Tuskegee for the first time in the history of the school that's ever been done. All right, in the championship game, and then we went into the playoffs. But although we had that kind of year, we probably crushed it probably better academically. We have over 52 guys over 3.0 GPA. We didn't have but 100 players. So over half our team had over 3.0 GPA, and we had 6 with a 4.0. So you're talking about winning football games. Man, we winning souls, man. Right. We winning souls, man. And when you win souls, man, you're changing. That's when you're winning in the game of life, man. So I'm grateful, man. I love it here at Benedict College, man. I really do, man. People ask me all the time, well, what's next? Well, what's next is what the good Lord tells me what's next. I'm just grateful, and I want to bloom where I'm planted. I want to be the best I can be at Benedict College. Because guess what? If I'm not good at where I'm at, ain't nobody going to want me. So I got to make sure I'm good at where I'm at, man. And I'm grateful right now to be here.
Once again, man, I love your philosophy. You're going to continue to win because you know what you want. I've sat in that seat with you, sat in that seat before. And sometimes, Coach, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Because I know when we were together, we were still young. What's that been, 20-some years ago? We would just get our claws into it. Now look at you, your suit. You got one of them important suits on. You're clean, Coach. You're clean. You're looking good. When you look at your mirror, do you say, well done?
Man, I'm not done yet, man. Honestly, I'm a humble dude, man. I really am, man. People tell me all the time, man, I'm still the guy that goes sweeping the office. I'm still the one that straightening chairs out. I'm still the one in the weight room in the morning when the guys come, man. That's just who I am. I spent 26 years an assistant coach. I've only been a head coach going into my third season, man. I've been an assistant coach longer than I've been a head coach. So I understand grind. I understand the work, man. So honestly, man, I got a lot. I'm 49 years old now, man. I'll be 50 next month. And I figure realistically, man, I got about, I would say about 15, 20 more years in the game, man. I'm just enjoying the ride, man. Just impacting the lives of young people. And I'm going to tell you what I'm having the most fun doing right now, Coach Cole, is coaching coaches. I tell my coaches this all the time. I say, man, listen, I don't coach a position. I don't have a position. I got 9 assistant coaches. So every position is taken care of. I don't have a position. So guess who I'm coaching? I'm coaching y'all. So again, I want to make sure that you guys doing what you're supposed to do because I got a young staff. People don't know this. My oldest coach is 37, my defense coordinator. Man, I got a 37-year-old, a 30-year-old, and a 35-year-old, and a 27-year-old defense. And on offense, I got a 30-year-old, and the rest of them in their 20s. Wow. Man, I'm enjoying coaching coaches, man. And
now, do you call your plays on Saturday, or is it your offense, or did you turn it over, or?
So I've been the play caller since I've been here,
and I think you should be.
But I just hired a new OC quarterback coach. Super excited about this guy, and I'm gonna give him a chance, man. So we're gonna see how this thing rocking and rolling, man.
Well, it's 2 people. You got to give me their names, Coach, because we got to expose them as well. Who is the offensive line coach? Because I know he got to feel like he under he in the FBI. Now, what we doing today, and how we doing it, and what step he's making, and flat step, and bucket step, and making contact on second step. What are we doing? I know he's getting it, Coach.
I tell you what, man. I'm gonna tell you, I'm fortunate. I am blessed. I tell you what, man. I'm gonna keep being a praying man. You keep praying for us because I'm blessed. I'm gonna tell you who's coaching my O-line. 2 jokers that played for me at Southern University, so they know my stuff. I don't even go down there, man. I don't even I don't even go down there. Them guys know my stuff. They were both. One was an All-American for me, FCS, AFCA All-American. I recruited him from Atlanta, Georgia. He is one. I got 2 O-line coaches, man. I got a tackle tight end coach and a center guard coach, man.
Okay.
So, and both of those guys played for me. That's Coach Jalen Brinson. He works with the tackle tight ends, and Jeremiah Abbey. He's coaching the centers and guards. And both of those guys, Jeremiah Abbey was first team All-American and all SWAC, first team all SWAC for 2 or 3 years. And Jalen Brinson, he was my starting center. He's first team all SWAC too, man. So, and he started for me for 3 years. So them guys know Coach Barry now, and they know I got zero tolerance for foolishness on that offensive line. So they know the expectation in the big boy room, no question.
I can imagine. I can imagine. And you say this new offensive coordinator, did he play for you, or is y'all kind of done some study work together?
I'll tell you what, this young man right here, he was just hired here, and he was the quarterback coach at Southern University last year.
Okay.
So he played at Grambling. He played quarterback. His name Jonathan Williams. He played quarterback at Grambling for Doug Williams and for Fobbs. Okay, and exceptional young talent, very, very good. And I actually worked with him at the Legacy Bowl. He was actually the play caller when I coached with Team Eddie Robinson. He was Southern's quarterback coach at the time, and I got a chance to see him. And at that time, I didn't have a position because my co-offensive coordinator, quarterback coach at the time was still with us. His name is Kevin Saxton. Well, when we got back that Monday, Andy Reid called him, and he is now the new offensive assistant for the Kansas City Chiefs. So the guy that I have now, Jonathan Williams, he's a new hire. We just got him there, man. So I'm blessed, man. Again, my guy Kevin Saxton got a chance to go to the NFL, and that's everybody's dream. And you can get there from here as well. All right, so as long as you do things the right way, and he got an opportunity, and I'm grateful for him the time that he had here. So those are my guys.
Well, I got to put you on the spot, Coach, man. I got to, man, because you going to keep winning there. That's a known fact, Coach.
Thank you.
Today, 90% of all athletic directors in college football and in college athletics, period, are white. The money is there. It's no way that Prime, not only Prime left because it was a bigger opportunity, he was supposed to, and guys like him and guys like you, it's going to be one day you're going to have to, Coach. I mean, do you ever sit down, or have you ever sit down before this first opportunity? Because I already knew that you knew you could win as a head coach. It was just when it was your time, and you're a God-fearing man. And Benedict, hey, man, look, hold on to him as long as you can. But then when it's time, y'all got to let him go like a kite and let him fly to different heights. What was some of your aspirations, when you start getting in this business? How far did you want to go? Is it the pro level? Is it to the bigger Power 5 schools? What is it?
Honestly, man, I really always dreamed and had aspirations of coaching on Sundays, man. When I was a young coach, I chased it. Like when I met you, man, we were doing the minority internship programs, man, and because I really saw myself as an opportunity to coach on Sundays at the highest level. And I chased it, man. You talking about? I did 6 NFL internships. 6.
I did 5.
So I had those aspirations. I also had those aspirations of coaching Power 5 ball because I really believe I can. I still believe I can. Just got to be given that opportunity. And then, as a coach, man, I got to the point where I just wanted to be happy. Yeah. I got to that point, man. Peace of mind was better than all that because I chased it. I did everything that they said you're supposed to do.
They used to say, cut your hair, how you dress, how you look,
I did it all, man. I lost the weight. They say you was too heavy. So I lost the weight. Okay, I cut my hair. I dress nice. I speak the part. I worked all the camps. I got my master's degree. I went and volunteered. I went and spent my money and went to this place and that place. You didn't have to pay me to work camps. I mean, I grinded. And then I created a website that nobody else in the country was doing. I created an O-line website that I was selling DVDs to O-line coaches all over the country. I had a YouTube page, man, the coaches from California, Idaho, people I've never met before was following because I wanted to be a trendsetter, because I didn't ever want them to tell me that I wasn't qualified. Right. So I tried and I tried. And I finally, got an interview with the NFL. I interviewed back when Jim Caldwell was the head football coach at Detroit Lions.
Right.
They had an assistant O-line job. And I went and interviewed. And at the time, I was told that they really wanted a good second O-line coach. That's what they really, really wanted. I went there and I interviewed with Jim Bob Cooter. He was the offensive coordinator at the time. And Jim Caldwell obviously was the head coach. And Ron Prince was the O-line coach. So I interviewed there for hours, man. I got a chance to meet the GM. And I'm talking about at least 5-6 hours I was there. And I grinded. And I had my PowerPoint presentation. I had my drills. I had my cut-ups. I got on the board. I can talk protection. I can talk run game. I can talk screens. I can talk all this stuff and did it with enthusiasm. But when it was all said and done, they didn't hire me. They chose somewhere else. So at that point, man, I just got to the point where I said, you know what? Maybe that's not what God has for me. I'm a firm believer in that. I had all those aspirations. And now, man, I just want to be happy, peace of mind. I want to go to where I want it. And you got to think, man, before I got this job, Johnny, man, I had interviewed for like 6 different head jobs. I interviewed for Alabama A&M. They chose Connell Maynard. Right. I interviewed for Savannah State, which is my alma mater. They chose the guy Sean Quinn that's no longer there. He ended up going to Virginia Tech after a couple of years. I interviewed at Fort Valley State. All right, they chose another man, Maurice Flowers. I interviewed for Howard University. They chose Larry Scott. I interviewed, several places, and then I got a chance to interview.
You didn't have no PWI on your resume yet.
No, I hadn't gotten PWI, man. Hadn't got one of them. They hadn't called yet, man. So that's what it is.
Yeah. Man, Coach, look, man, I feel you. I feel you. I shouldn't say pain, but it's the grind, and that's one of the things about my show. I want to present African American coaches like yourself, and let folks know that their ice ain't cold as our ice. Ice is ice. It's about the experience. It's about the passion for the game, and you can see that there. We coming to the end, Coach, man. It's great. Like I said, go fast when you're having fun. You never know, Coach, man. I'll be knocking on your door one day. You might have something for old Coach, man, to get over in the corner with you.
Come see me.
I've been watching you, Coach, man. I love what you're doing. I think Benedict got a jewel in you and taking those young guys, because those young guys need that. They need that, and they'll be ready. They'll take your system if they're smart and put that in their toolbox. And if they get another opportunity, man, I can't say enough about you, Coach. I want to thank you for your time. Any last words?
Man, first of all, man, I'm grateful for you to have me on your show, man. I've been following you a long time as well, Johnny. You were very successful coordinator, very successful head football coach. So you are one of those names that people always will remember. All right, and you made an impact on the lives, regardless of how long it was. You made an impact on people's lives, man. And you still making an impact on me today. So when you call, man, I say I'll make sure I take some time out to be able to sit with you, man. But I'm just grateful to be on the show. I'm super excited about the staff that I have. The players are 100% bought in on the process every day. And we talk about the process. And that's just being the best you can be every day. Don't worry about the end goal. Fall in love with the process of becoming great. And let's just try to go 1-0 every day. Just go 1-0 every day. And if you continue to go 1-0 every day, all right, and continue to stack days back to back to back, the fruits of your labor will continue to show at the end. So again, super excited about this upcoming season, man. We're in the middle of spring ball. Guys are rocking and rolling. We just finished practice number 6, man. And we're just trying to get 1% better every day. So thanks again for having me on your show, brother.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this season. I'll be in touch.
God bless you, man. Go Tigers.
Hey, real quick, the show was a great show. That's Chennis Berry, one of our best coaches in college football. Not a level that don't have anything to do with it. If you have a son or a kid, that's who you want them to go play for. Not only they going to learn how to play the game, but they're going to learn how to be men. As always in our show, if you feel yourself at the end of the rope, tie a knot, hold on tight, because ain't nobody bad like you. See you next week.
The man said the Sharifa Parks down. world record. And I lost concentration and I fall off that hurdle. I was devastated.
One of our hopes for the Olympic Games, Sharifa Barksdale from Tennessee, a fine intermediate hurdler, ranked 10th in the world at 400 meters.
Posición game ball de Canadá, dominando la prueba, y la estadounidense Sharifa Barksdale está en...
When I fell over that hurdle, it ended my career. And then all of a sudden, my coach grabs me by the throat. And I was going through some paperwork and seeing that he had spent 10 years in prison. And I was just like floored. It turned to domestic violence. I was terrified. So if I left, I don't know if I was going to die. My family didn't know if they was going to get a phone call to say that Sharifa was dead.
Yeah, in Texas, pretty. I just had a vehicle take a shot at me. Southbound on East 95th.
Broke the U.S. record in the 400-meter hurdles. Represented the United States of America.
Imagine being on the biggest, fastest roller coaster that you have ever been on. That's the way my life was for 20 years.
I never had no trouble out of her being what she wanted to be. Because if this is what she wanted to be a runner, well, God bless her, and he did.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Monday. We're back at it, March 20th, 2023. Number 1, a controversial bill was passed by the Florida House last week, which many fear will endanger all hopes of maintaining diversity, equity, and inclusion in Florida public universities. The recently passed House bill bans state colleges and universities from using funds to promote, support, or maintain any programs or campus activities that espouse diversity, equity, or inclusion, or critical race theory rhetoric. Opponents of the bill point to the vagueness of the bill's language that could be used to ban activities promoted by Black sororities and fraternities, Latinx, Asian, and other multicultural student unions. Number 2, former President Donald Trump took to his own social media site, Truth Social, over the weekend, floating his indictment, telling followers that he was going to be arrested Tuesday. While the Manhattan District Attorney's Office has said it is preparing for the possibility that Donald Trump could be indicted as soon as this week, there is no confirmation that this will happen or when it will occur. There were no suggestions from his camp that he was informed about any charges being filed. Number 3, new data suggests deaths of pregnant women in the U.S. fell in 2022, dropping significantly from a 6-decade high during the pandemic. More than 1,200 U.S. women died in 2021 during pregnancy or shortly after childbirth, according to a final tally released Thursday by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Officials say the 2022 maternal death rate is on track to get close to the pandemic levels. However, the rate before COVID-19 was the highest it had been in decades. Irvo Otieno, a 28-year-old black man, died March 6th while being held down after being placed in handcuffs and leg irons at a state mental hospital in Petersburg, Virginia. Now, 7 sheriff's deputies and 3 hospital workers are being charged with second-degree murder. The 7 Henrico County sheriff's deputies were charged March 14th, and additional charges were announced March 16th against the 3 hospital workers. Number 5, what is prayer? Well, prayer is talking to God. That conversation with God can be between an individual or a group. It can be organized, unorganized, spontaneous, or planned, and He'll be there for all of it. Whenever you're ready, He's ready. God doesn't tell us how to pray, but He did provide a template in Matthew 6. Read more about it in today's Ministry Monday. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Today is a good day to celebrate the good things and people in your life. All right, celebrate. Sing. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with hilarious Huggy Lowdown and our social justice activist Coy Malone as we observe World Oral Care Day. That's right, we're going to talk about the mouth as we discuss that and today's top headlines and more. Thanks to our partners, the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybilWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
CBS 3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.